The number three myth is that probate is bad and should be avoided at all costs. So I just told you why people have revocable living trusts, because they want to avoid the probate process, because I know we have all heard horror stories about how bad probates are. Well, the reason that we've heard them is because there are a lot of terrible probates out there. Why are there terrible probates out there? Well, probably because there wasn't a good estate plan. Before I get there, let's talk about it. What I'm talking about, like probate, like you should know what I'm talking about. What is a probate? So probate is the legal process that after your death, your will is filed with the court, and who files it? It normally is your personal representative, their attorney. Personal representative is also called an executor. So the person who's supposed to implement your will. Well, how does a will get implemented? It doesn't get implemented until you die and until the court looks at the will and gives an order that probates the will, that says this will is valid, and the person that you have appointed or named under that will is going to be the personal representative. They're given letters testamentary, which is their legal authority to act, and then they, the personal representative, go do their job. What's their job? Their job is to gather up all your assets, make an inventory of them, pay any creditors, and then distribute your assets according to the terms of your will. What did you say? Where do you want the assets to go? That's the job of the personal representative, and that's what a probate is. So if it's that simple, you might ask me, Lynn, well then why have I heard such horror stories about probates? Well, where is the probate happening? Is the probate happening in Washington or Idaho? In these jurisdictions, and we are licensed in both those jurisdictions, we have what's called a non-intervention probate. That means the court is not involved. The court, yes, signed the order on the probate and issued the letters testamentary, but beyond that, there's really nothing more that the court is involved with unless we request the court to be involved with something. So the personal representative can sell the property, can liquidate assets, can open an estate account, can do everything they need to do, can give notice to creditors so that they make sure that creditors' claims are cut off or valid creditors' claims are paid, so that the estate will be, we'll know what the estate is so it can be distributed without worry. So in Washington and in Idaho, yes, there's statutes. You have to do the things right, but that's what a lawyer is there for, to help you do everything right in a probate. Yes, a probate costs money. Whenever you are dealing with an attorney, if you've had any sorts of interactions with a lawyer, typically they don't work for free. And so, yes, there are fees that will come out of the estate to pay the lawyer for their work. Notice I said their work. So in Washington and in Idaho, the legal fees are going to be dependent upon how much work was involved, and the better the estate plan, the clearer it was, the less confusion, the less the fees will be. Now, I want you to contrast that with other states where probate truly should be avoided. So if I have anybody here from California, they know that in California, definitely a revocable living trust platform is the recommended estate planning route. Why? Because in California, the legal fees on probate aren't based on the amount of work that's been performed, but on the size of the estate. So if you're looking at the size of the estate and a percentage of that goes to the attorney for legal fees for a probate, of course, you are going to want to avoid that type of fee system. So in California, absolutely avoid probates because it's very costly. Washington, Idaho, it isn't.